Hi dear students, today I am going to discuss another important poem from higher secondary, The Poetry of Earth. The Poetry of Earth is an important poem, we know it very well. This poem is composed by John Keats. Okay, John Keats, we know it very well, was one of the romantic poets. Romantic poets, what does it mean? Actually, he belonged to the romantic era. Romantic era, or we can say romanticism. What is romanticism? Romanticism, actually, it was a movement, romantic revival or romantic movement. This movement was originated in Europe. Actually, it was originated at the end of the 18th century. Okay, and what kind of movement was it? It was an artistic, literary, okay, we can say musical and intellectual movement. And the poets, actually a number of poets we can say here, a number of poets, for example, William Blake, William Wordsworth, P.B. Shelley, John Keats, Lord Byron, okay, were involved in this romantic movement. And actually, Wordsworth, William Blake, and some other poets belonged to the major romantics, while John Keats, Lord Byron, and Shelley belonged to the younger generation or second generation of romantic poets. Okay, but we know it very well. And if you don't know, you need to know this, I think. Romanticism or romantic revival was, we can say, partly a reaction of industrial revolution, or it was the reaction of the earlier age. Earlier age, I mean to say here, the neoclassical age or the age of Enlightenment. The age of Enlightenment preferred reason to imagination or emotion. But in this age, in this romantic age, we find the preference of imagination to reason or ideas. The preference of emotion to reason or ideas. Okay. And most of all, we can say that the romantic poets were also nature lover. That's why we can say they are nature poet. Most of them. William Wordsworth was an important, a reputed, we know, worldwide reputed, okay, nature poet. John Keats, he was also a nature poet. Okay, and another thing which is important is that in this particular age we find variation. In the earlier age, there was the same quality, the same kind of writing, but among the romantics, we find the variety of writings have been produced in this age, among the romantics also, we can say. Okay, so variety is another important feature of romantic era or romanticism. Okay, John Keats, John Keats was an important, a remarkable user of sensuous imagery. In most of his poems, we find the use of imagery, sensuous imagery actually. Okay, he loved nature, we know it very well. He loved nature, but he loved to see, to enjoy nature with his five senses. Okay, and in this poem also he tried to describe here the permanence of poetry, and in this particular poem we have found the permanence of music of the earth, of nature. Okay, the music of the earth is permanent all through the season, all through the year, we find the continuation of music. The music of the earth never ceases, never stops. Okay, and with this, actually, music has been used here as a symbol of poetry. Okay, we know it very well. All the seasons come one by one in a cyclic order, and in this cycle of season there is not a single moment, not a single minute without music. Okay, the continuation of music actually refers to the continuation of poetry, and Keats was such a poet. He described poetry as holy or sacred. The people, the religious people, actually the religious people are always devoted to religion, and Keats was devoted to his writing, to his poetry. That's why he described poetry as holy or sacred. Okay, he described art as holy or sacred. Okay, so he was completely devoted to his writing. Okay, so I am going to discuss the poem line by line. Please try to understand. Keats has also used here the poetry form sonnet, and here we find the Petrarchan sonnet. Okay, we know it very well. In my previous video, I have discussed in details the classification of sonnets. Okay, in Petrarchan sonnet we find two octave and sestet, we can say, two stanzas, first containing 8 lines, octave contains 8 lines, while the sestet contains 6 lines. Okay, and this poem, The Poetry of Earth, is a Petrarchan sonnet. Okay, and in sonnet we know it very well, there is of course a rhyme scheme. Here in this sonnet we find the rhyme scheme ABBA, ABBA in octave, and CDE and CDE in sestet. Okay, now at first I am reciting the poem, then I will discuss it line by line. Okay, please watch the video till the end. The poetry of earth is never dead. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run from haze to haze about the new moon meet. That is the grasshopper. He takes the lead in summer luxury. He has never done with his delights, for when tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. On a lone winter evening, when the frost has wrought a silence, From the stove there shrills the cricket song, in warmth increasing ever, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshoppers among some grassy hills. Okay, so this is the poem. Now I am going to discuss line by line. In the octave, the first line is, the poetry of earth is never dead. So I have just told you, the poetry of earth is never dead, is always alive. The poetry of earth is not a kind of thing which dies so easily. It is permanent, it is not transitory, it is not temporary. Okay, the poetry of earth is eternal. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun, when all the birds are faint with the hot sun, all the birds are tired with the hot sun, with the scorching heat of the sun. The scorching heat of the sun is unbearable for the birds. They become weary. They get tired. When they get tired, they hide in cooling trees. Okay, they take shelter. They need some rest. They need some repose. That's why they take shelter in the cooling trees. They hide there. A voice will run from haze to haze. In that very moment, the music never stops. In that very moment, a voice will run from haze to haze. What does haze mean? We know it very well. It is actually a bush. A voice will run. Here the voice refers to the grasshopper. The movement of grasshopper. Here the grasshopper moves from bush to bush, haze to haze. About the new mown meat, new mown, just trimmed. The meat actually mead means grassy land. Okay, a land covered with grass, full of grass. And that very land has just been trimmed. So, mown means trimmed. That is the grasshopper. The voice is the grasshopper's voice. Okay, he takes the lead. Here, actually the poet wants to mean, when the birds get tired with the scorching heat of the sun, they take some rest in the cooling trees. They stop singing because of their weariness. Okay, in this moment, at this moment, the grasshopper takes the leading role to continue the music, to continue the song of the earth, the music of the earth. He takes the lead in summer luxury. He has never done with his delights. He has never done with. He never gets tired with his delights. He enjoys it. He enjoys his singing. Okay, he never gets tired for singing continuously. That's why here the poet has used, he has never done with, okay, with his delights. For when tired out with fun, out of fun, he is continuously, he is incessantly making fun. He has been incessantly making fun, and out of his fun. Sometimes he gets tired. And when he gets tired, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. Beneath, we know it very well, this is under. He takes rest under some pleasant weed. Okay, weed, we know it, unnecessary plants. Okay, unnecessary plants. He takes rest under this pleasant weed. Okay, now I am coming to the sestet. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. Okay, the poetry of earth is ceasing never. This is the repetition of the first line used in octave. Here is also we find the poetry of earth is not a thing which can be ended, which can die. It is always alive. Okay, the poetry of earth is ceasing never. It is unstoppable. Cease. What does cease mean? Cease means to stop. Okay. Is ceasing never, is stopping never. The poetry of earth is stopping never. Here the music. Okay, the music of earth is stopping never. On a lone winter evening. This is a picture of winter. In octave we find a sensuous imagery of summer, a complete picture of summer, and in sestet we find a picture of winter. On a lone winter evening. Lone means lonely. The evenings of winter are lonely. We know it very well. Actually, because of cold, all the people in this season like to stay home, like to stay inside. They don't move on the roads, along the roads. Okay, that's why the roads are empty without the passers-by, without the travelers. That's why the evenings are lonely. On a lone winter evening, when the frost has wrought a silence, as we find no people along the road, moving along the road. Okay, that's why profound silence prevails all around. Complete silence reigns all around. Okay, when the frost has wrought a silence. So, the cause of silence in winter is nothing but frost. Has wrought. Wrought means created or made. Okay, so frost has made a silence. From the stove there shrills the cricket song. From the stove, what does a stove means? We know it very well. It is a fireplace. In this season, people like to sit by the fireplace, by the hearth. Okay, and from there shrills the cricket song in warmth increasing ever. We can listen, people can listen the cricket song in this time, at this moment, and the song of the cricket song increases the warmth. In winter, the warmth is increased because of the cricket song. Okay, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost. One, very common, is and everyone, we can say. Okay, to is and everyone The cricket song seems to be the grasshoppers among some grassy hills. The cricket song appears to be the grasshopper's song. The grasshopper, the person who is in drowsiness, in sleepy state, half lost. What does the poet mean here by half lost? Actually, the person who is sitting by the fireplace is half sleepy and half awake. Okay, that's why half lost. The poet has used half lost, half sleepy and half awake. And that person thinks the cricket song to be the grasshopper's song. He thinks that the grasshopper is singing in some grassy hills. Okay, so this is the analysis of the poem. This is the complete description of the poem, the subject matter of the poem. Please try to understand, go through the poem in details, and if you need anything, if you need the answer of any question, you can ask me, you can message me, okay, you can send me messages, I will try to reply. Okay, today up to this, thank you.